Hey, welcome to day 2 of the 5 most common mistakes that most dirt bikers make. In today's video, we're going to talk about gripping the bike. Should you grip the bike? Should you not grip the bike? When do you do it? You might have heard some things on the internet of, how should you be squeezing the bike? And, I heard maybe if you're doing trials riding, you shouldn't squeeze the bike. Those are the things we're going to be covering in this video. And we hope that it helps your riding and it helps make you a safer, more confident rider. All right, so first off, gripping the motorcycle is going to be one of the biggest attributes that is going to help you connect to your motorcycle and help you become one with the bike. Riders who typically don't squeeze the bike, they often experience this feeling of the bike controlling them versus them controlling the bike. If they hit a rock or a rut, that bike will shift from underneath them and begin to point them in directions they weren't trying to go. Maybe you're going into a corner and you're trying to take your bike to a certain direction, but the bike takes you another direction. Maybe you're out trail bike riding and you're trying to go up a hill, and as you're going up the hill, it's trying to take you where it wants to take you versus you controlling that motorcycle. You've got to learn how to be in control of this bike at all times, and riders that don't, they end up getting hurt, they crash, and there's a lot of negative things that can happen that can ultimately crush your confidence and your ability to control this bike. And so today I wanted to break down how to grip your bike properly. So the way that we do this properly is you want to squeeze from your ankles up through your knees on the motorcycle. And so first off, we do want to squeeze the bike. We always want to be gripping the bike with both legs because that's the biggest muscle on your body that's going to really hold you and connect you to this motorcycle. I like to ride on the balls of my feet, and then I use because my ankles are hanging off the back of the peg, you can take those and you can squeeze them onto the motorcycle, and it's going to give you a really solid connection as your first connection to the motorcycle. So we start with our heels, and then we can work up and then squeeze with your knees. And so we always want to ride centered on the motorcycle, and so as we're squeezing through our ankles, through our knees, that just begins to lock us onto the motorcycle, and it gives you the control that you need to have maximum amount of control of this motorcycle while riding. One thing some people, they struggle with being able to grip the bike. It can be challenging. It takes a lot of effort. And if my hands right here were like your feet, a lot of times I see riders, they ride on their heels and their feet are almost pointed out. A lot of new riders ride like this, kind of like duck feet. Have you ever seen someone walk like that? So one thing is, if your knees are pointed out if your toes are pointed out like this, you're not going to have the ability to squeeze the bike with your knees. It's just, it puts tension on your joints, and it doesn't allow you to squeeze the bike. However, if you were to point the opposite and go, basically just straight on and then just tote a little bit, it allows your joints to open up and free up, and it almost naturally will allow you to squeeze the bike and give you that rock solid connection to the bike like we need. Anytime that you are going fast, maybe you're in motocross, you're on a start, you're going over jumps, even in corners, I always am squeezing the bike. Anytime I've ever had a crash or something's gone wrong, it's really happened from not squeezing the bike. So really just want to encourage you to do that today. The only exception for not squeezing the bike, hopefully you understand the value that we're talking about here, is if you're trials bike riding. If you're in a position on your motorcycle where you are trying to balance, maybe you're going 1 to 2 miles an hour and you're trying to balance around a tree up in the woods to go up a next section, your trials bike riding, anytime your slow speed balance, you would actually point your knees out. Just like someone who is walking on a tightrope. If you've ever seen someone walk on a tightrope, they point their knees out, and it's more of a balance thing, and it gives you the more ability to balance, and you can also do that on your bike. So the second tip that we've been learning today is learn how to squeeze the bike. It's going to ultimately give you more control, it's going to give you more confidence, and it's going to make you a better, faster, safer rider. So, all right guys, stay tuned for the next video. Hope you enjoyed this, and stay motivated with mymotocoach.com.